What is this? Like, what is this to you? This right here is Canadian currency, but it's the same rules all over the world. Doesn't matter what your currency looks like or where you are in the world. It's the same thing everywhere. But you have to ask yourself what it is to you. What does it mean to you? What is it? And if your answers are only what it can do for you or what you want from it, that is an outline of where you're headed in life or where you're at currently. Because this is just a tool. Like anything else, like any other tool, you have to understand it in order to use it properly. Understanding what money is changed the way I saw money, because I saw what it was. I saw it for what it was. And then I became more conscious of what I wanted to do with it, because I realized the power wasn't in the money. The power was in the person holding the money. And it's not a fault of your own or my own, because we were never taught what money was. We were only taught to work for money. And that's like the employee controlling the boss. Literally. The mistakes that I used to make with money were just out of sheer ignorance. Like, you can't be an emotional spender and think you have direction when it comes to building wealth. Because you work so hard for money, the moment you get a chance to do something that will give you that dopamine or that moment of just bliss, you take it. Because of how hard you've worked for money, the sweat equity you put in, you're working for money. Money's not working for you because you don't know what it is. So once I realized what it was, it made it impossible for me to just frivolously spend. I'm not saying you can't buy things. I'm saying you're a lot smarter of where you direct your money. Now you're not just spending, you're directing it. You're sending it places to bring back more of itself. That's how you build wealth. And with doing that, let me not skip things. In order to do that, you have to become a studied individual when it comes to understanding money. You have to study it to understand it. And there's some good books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad that I read that gave me a great understanding of money. Also, Principles of Money from The Richest Man in Babylon. And then there's Execution, which I got from the book The Slight Edge. There's a lot of different books that you can look up that give you a brand new perspective on what it was. And to be honest with you, when I found out what money was, what it actually was, I was so mad that no one ever took the time to tell me this, but was educating me on how to be an employee, but never someone that takes charge of their own life to create wealth. There's more money than anyone could ever make on the planet. When you understand money, you start using it strategically because you can see the potential of what it can do. And money is a mirror. It reflects the owner. Money becomes an extension of yourself. And there's a lot of different levels of the development of learning how to become the person that is wealthy, because wealth is characteristics you develop. Money is a screwdriver, it's a drill, it's a shovel. You know what I mean? You use it for something, you use it for different things. But also money, you have to look at it as an employee. Like if you got $10, like what I was just showing you, that's 10 employees. And you become so intentional with how you spend money that when you look at it like that, you're looking at it like, how can I send out 5 of 10 of these employees to bring back 2 more or 5 more? So now we have 15 employees. And how do we use 15 to turn it into 30 employees? And then you start building your financial understanding through experience, because you educate yourself first to understand what it is. Then you take your education and you make it experience by trying different things from what you understand. And then your experience turns into access cash, which is the 3 E's that I learned from reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. The more employees I have is the more opportunities I can build. But I start from where I'm at. And I think a lot of people think they gotta have a substantial amount of money in order to do something that has an impact. But that's not the case. You can literally take $5 and impact yourself by making it 10. And the feeling that'll give you and the understanding that'll give you will let you know how much more you can do that with much more money. And once you get to that point and you see that you have your eureka moment where, oh, the system actually does work because I'm very conscious of what I'm doing with money, your whole perspective of life starts to change. Your energy changes, your conversations are different. You're not an emotional spender. You're very cautious about what you do with your money because all of us want to be financially free. But it takes an understanding to learn how to become financially free. That stuff doesn't just fall in your lap. We're dealing with a system here that has fundamentals of understanding on how to use it. So now that you understand money is a tool, money is now working for you. You now direct money's path. And it doesn't have to, everybody wants to be rich quick. Like you can start building your understanding with what you have right now. With what you work for right now, what ideas you have to accumulate funds, you can start learning the fundamentals of money. And that's why it's so important to study. Because to study, you got to study to understand.